it's always dope to meet somebody who you've idolized, looked up to, and things like that. It really
is rare too that you get to do that.
Right. And then also that they're cool too, and like super nice.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, they always say sometimes the biggest thing is like meeting your idols because they're like a letdown and they're
that
rude.
Definitely wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't at all. And
then wasn't a dick to you. He wasn't a dick to him.
Yeah.
No.
And you know, he's in a place where he's equal to us.
Well, and the cool thing is, just like Joaquin said earlier off camera, it was like this could have gone a whole different way. It could have been, you know, if he showed up, he could have been like, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about being a teacher. And then, you know, like then selfishly my heart would have been like, oh no, like I didn't get to I didn't get to pick my idol's brain about something that I'm passionate about that he got me into.
Have you seen this? There's a skit that he did, Harrison Ford did with I think Conan. You know what I'm talking about? Where Harrison Ford is in, like, you know, on the show, and he's like, we're gonna open it up for the audience to ask him questions, and they're like, yeah, just no Star Wars questions. And then there's a guy dressed as a Jedi. He's like, he's like, you like movies? And Harrison's like, yeah. That's what it would have been like.
Yeah, no,
because
100%.
I talked to the girl. I've shared this so much, and it sucks because she would have been down. The girl that starred in the Blair Witch Project, she's my friend on Facebook, and every once in a while we'll message back and forth. And for the Halloween season, I wanted to interview her about the Blair Witch, but she says, I don't really like talking about the Blair Witch anymore. And I'm like, fuck.
Your fingers out your fucking mouth.
She's like a botanist, right?
Some shit like that.
Yeah. We could have had a botanist on the show.
But come on, like it's like, oh, tell me about California poppies, I guess.
Okay, like, she doesn't want to do the Blair Witch, but like, did she do any movies after that? Did she do any movies before that?
She doesn't want to talk about acting no more.
Oh, okay.
She was in the movie with Freddie Prinze Jr. and shit, and you know, blah blah blah. But
I guess, you know what, this is not really the same thing, but it's kind of when you guys like told me, like when Ashanti came and she was like, yeah, she opens up for Bobby Lee. And then she's like, I don't want to talk about comedy, though. I want to talk about my jail job. I was like, dang, I wanted to ask some comedy question.
Really
it was,
No, that was a great interview. That's why I said it's not the same thing, but like.
Thanks for sharing that on air, man. I'm just kidding.
You can edit that out.
Yeah, but it would suck. Like, good thing he was an open book about it.
Right.
But it would suck to, like, you know, if I did get her on and, you know, tell me what flowers I can eat, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Like, not that I don't care, but it's just like one of the dopest movies ever.
Well, you also got to think like the audience. If the audience sees that person as the guest, they have expectations about what the conversation is going to be about.
Okay. So, like, do you think though, like, do you think it's? I understand, like, you have to think about the person's feelings and stuff like that.
At one point, I thought you were repressing too much about the music, and he seemed uncomfortable.
I felt that. That's why I tried to push back.
Did you get that too?
Yeah, that's why I let you guys go into teaching.
Yeah.
Because I figured.
But I could tell you were like,
I got like 16 more questions.
He was like, when we moved on to teaching, he was like
a lot more calm.
He was like Smokey in Devo's chicken coop.
Yeah. I should probably apologize to him about that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Because I was like, I don't know, because when I asked him a few questions just to get like a timeline of when this happened, because I wanted to know.
That's what I said is the reversive therapy.
Huh?
I said this is the reversive
therapy. Exactly. Yeah, that was kind of probably a bad thing. But I was like, I just wanted to get the timeline of when this started. Like, okay, so he's like, we started in 2008 and it went to like 2013. I'm like, oh, this was like fairly recent. And I'm trying to picture where was I during the same time?
Right.
And also realize he's close to my age. Like he just turned 33. I'll be turning 34 this year. So I'm
2015
like,
is when he ended. That's when he was. I mean, let's say we just say 25.
Yeah. And then he went to UC Berkeley at the age of 26. Right. So I was like, that's dope as hell too.
He's mature.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
You know?
I think. So when you get to a certain level like that, though, right, in your field, I know that you definitely are human. I have to remember that and kind of take into consideration. But
just realize he might be watching this episode.
Oh yeah. But no. It's not. Yeah. It's not anything bad.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, it's not anything.
He follows us now.
No, this is not anything bad. I'm just saying, like, I think I just forgot too, because my whole thing as a fan, as someone who's looked up to him, I'm like, oh, I have a million questions that I've been wanting to ask you for a million years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where he's like, that's not me anymore, dude. Like I thought I was coming here to talk about teaching. I was like, my bad.
Trust and believe. I did not tell him that I was bringing him on to talk about teaching.
Okay.
I said I wanted to talk about his music and teaching.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
he said he's an open book too. So like,
yeah. So I hope I didn't go too far with him.
I think you're fine.
I think
I think Zach is very generous with
and and we still talked after, and he was still open about talking to music a little bit after off camera. So I think
the stuff we asked him off camera was better that we asked off camera.
100%.
Yeah.
No,
common motherfucking sense on that one. Thank you both. Thank everybody.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's just a thing of like the fan meeting. Like you're looking at him like, oh God, I remember like all these dope songs you was doing, and but then you start thinking like the business side of things. You know, that's not every. You see all the positives, and then he probably experiences some of the negatives, and that's probably why I don't talk about it.
I mean, he
didn't want to stay there.
Yeah, there's a reason. Like, you know, you fucking left.
Yeah.
The all the shit he was talking about, all the dope stuff. You know,
right.
There was this guy, I forgot his name. He was in a famous movie. He was like a villain for some famous movie. I saw an interview with him talking about he had an experience. Like one of the things that scared him from Hollywood is he was in a film with, what's that guy's name? The villain from Daredevil?
Colin Farrell.
No, the show.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. He said Vincent D'Onofrio, like this is how he knows like actors are crazy, and that's what I don't want to turn into that. It was a movie with Vincent D'Onofrio, and like they had guns, prop guns, and he fucked up the scene, and he said Vincent D'Onofrio got the gun and pointed at him like in his head, like the fuck is wrong with you? He was like, it was the craziest
Thank
shit.
God
like,
it was just a
yeah. But he's like, and then he like firing it like, and he was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Man.
Yeah, and he said that's like, I'm out of here. Like, you know, this is crazy. I'm not built for this. So
that's
Look,
there's some stuff that we can't even imagine that.
Well, that's what I was saying on the podcast too. Is like from our perspective as growing artists and as starving artists, we're like, how if you were almost there, why would you give up? And then you hear his story, and you're like, wow. We really you can't imagine.
Patricia,
not even almost there. The man was there.
You ever heard that?
Well, but like in his head, he wasn't there yet.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like because you always like, just like we are now. You know,
we think it's crazy.
We think it's crazy, but we also were like, okay, that was great. This video did great on social media. How do we do better this time?
Yeah,
that's exactly what he was saying. It's like how do we get bigger and bigger, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Patricia knows said it best. There's a million like once you get into the belly of the beast, you know that's just gonna spit you out and like take away all that's great from you. But there's a million people waiting in line to get into the belly of the beast. So it's like
so the belly of the beast is never gonna get better because everyone wants to get in anyway. Right. You know what? It's
You ever think about you guys like I'm asking because he's in the same. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like reflecting on the band itself. You know, I looked it up about their dissolution. It doesn't really say why they broke up, but
like the differences in songwriting.
But the fact that the band split, it kind of reminds me of like my group split, and I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that no split of creative partners is ever easy.
No, not at all.
And I'm pretty sure that there's some pain. I know that I felt some pain in my group split. Some stuff that I'm still kind of healing from in some ways. So, man, you know that just asking those questions, digging up those old ghosts, can be hard.
Yeah. Well, just to like draw parallels, you were talking about like the way we run our podcast and how we're looking at numbers and how can we do better, and that's how he was looking with his band. By that same token, as a fan, you're only seeing one side of the story when it comes to that band and what's going on with them. You don't see all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes.
Right. Like, why did Gaspar leave? He was such a great part of it. I was going to say,
well, that's the same thing here with this podcast. Like,
you see how much Phil bullied the guy, you'd understand.
My God, can I get a word in edgewise? I'm about to mute JD in a second.
JD, you keep interrupting, dude.
He's getting really bad at it.
We need a guest so you can shut up.
Go ahead.
So anyway, like people who listen to our show, like they don't see what goes on in our group chat. They don't see what goes on when we're not recording. They don't see any of the behind the scenes stuff. They're just like, I wonder why that person's not around anymore.
Right.
So there's always two sides to the story. So then having somebody like that come on here, we can actually pick their brain back. Well, what happened?
Right.
You know?
Right. And like you said, to be an open book about it was awesome, and just I think it was really insightful too. I think if you're an artist coming up in any way, shape, or form, that's a great episode to listen to really be like, whoa, okay, take it.
Yeah,
and you know what actually I liked too? You know what actually he pointed out a lot of stuff in himself. Was like, I didn't like the person I became. I thought that was really interesting. Because you would see, I'd hear a lot of people.
I had a lot of questions for that I was like holding back, and I see held back.
Right, but like to hear, you'd hear people be like, the guys and I just, you could either be really political about it and be like, we just weren't on the same page anymore, or, fuck that guy because this guy did this and that to me, or my manager stole from me or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, he was like, nah, like I was also becoming the person I didn't want to become, and I thought that was really interesting.
The further removed from a situation like that, I think you become more reflective of like what part you might have played a role in and stuff like that.
Can you believe the Voice Party has had merch this whole time and we neglected to tell anybody? T-shirts, hoodies, bath mats, wall clocks, throw pillows, even mini skirts. We will throw our logo on absolutely anything. Click the link in the description below and pick you up some Voice Party merch today.